think.
Up you go, Princess.
Thank you. How have you been?
Oh, very well indeed. Are you ready?
Go ahead, start pulling.
I will not destroy my sister's doll, say I promise.
I promise.
I promise not to speak unless I have spoken to, say it.
I promise.
You promise to consider your father the perfect king, just and loving parent and superior man?
Promise.
And will you promise here and now not to vex your sisters, the governess and the chamberlain?
Yes.
And do you promise, Fantaghiro, to show moderation in your comportment,
Promise.
whereby you shall neither walk too fast nor too slow?
I promise.
And you must promise when men talk to you to keep your head bowed with humility.
Promise.
And furthermore, you must promise not to engage in those pastimes. You must learn those domestic arts suited to young girls, sewing, cooking, and looking after the male members of the family.
I promise.
Very well. And promise to practice silence, girl.
Promise.
And you must, above all, young lady,
What?
you must give up learning to read and write.
That's impossible. I will do nothing of the sort.
What?
And anyway, it's too late. I've already learned to read and write. Then you'd better unlearn. But that's silly. How can you unlearn something you already know? Besides, I don't see why a woman shouldn't be able to read and write.
Because it's wrong. You must never be a challenge to the men you know.
But I have absolutely no intention of knowing any men.
Mind your tongue, Fantaghiro. Should the king our father hear you, he'll send you back down the well.
I just need enough time to find another book. I finished this one.
The only promise I'll make is that I won't read it again. It's a horrible, syrupy love story. Not my type at all. I like stories of war and champions, the deeds of knights, weapons. Not the kisses and languid looks of lovers promising each other eternal love. Yuck.
Does the book really talk about all those things? Oh, if only I had learned to read too.
Your Majesty. Your daughters, they've arrived, sire.
Whatever you do, don't whine. No, don't cry, Carolyn. He likes to see you cry. Don't you understand that?
Your daughters pay you how much, sire?
You may stand up, my dears.
I can't help it. I can't help it.
Carolyn, haven't you learned that you mustn't speak unless given permission to do so by me, the king?
It isn't Carolyn's fault, Father.
Oh?
I said something to her, and
You did? And what did you have to say that was so interesting?
I simply told her she had nothing to cry about. She's too sensitive.
Which is more than can be said for you. You are not at all sensitive. Catherine, would you please freshen your sister's memory concerning a woman's duties?
Gladly, Father. A woman is naturally inferior to man, both mentally and physically.
Excellent. Continue, dear.
Rubbish. And
Yes?
it's a woman's duty to accept her position of inferiority and natural submission to man, and to be grateful to man for the protection
Rubbish.
How dare you interrupt your sister?
I interrupted, Father, because what she said isn't true. I read that
What?
once and...
You read? Who gave you permission to read? You must learn to be a woman and nothing else. Oh, insolent female, where are you going?
Back down the well, so you needn't bother sending me there. Prefer to be with the mice.
Get her back here. Do you really think that after months of fighting a war, I enjoy coming home to listen to miles and piles of complaints regarding your behavior?
That's nature, I'm afraid.
Well, we are going to change it. And I know the person who'll curb your nature. I have reached an age whereby I no longer can lead my troops into battle. I have thus handed the command over to our courageous general for the time being. I received proposals of marriage for my 3 daughters from the princes of Asabel. 3 young and brave brothers. When you'll be married, the forces of Asabel will join ours, and the command will pass from our dear general here present to your 3 young husbands. In a few days, they shall come here to get to know you. In the meantime, they send these precious gifts. Lovely.
A prince who's capable of sending such a jewel to his future bride is a guarantee of prosperity and serenity for our kingdom. Oh, Father, I'm ready to obey you.
And you, Carolyn?
Oh, how marvelous. It's the exact color of my eyes. If he's this generous before we've even met, who knows what he'll give me when he sees my beauty?